Hi guys, and in this video I'll be showing you just a few meals I eat throughout the day on the build up to my Cape Verde holiday. These few meals that I'm showing you help me stay lean, and I've cut some of them down as well, so I should be in the shredding phase at the moment. So throughout the next month or two my body will be adjusting to it and getting a lot more tighter, so you'll see more muscle definition and things like that. So kicking off the first meal I have, so usually I have this when I wake up and I've got a little bit of time. I usually have 4 eggs, either poached or in an omelette, but today I'll be showing you poached egg on sourdough. And if you can and you're not in a rush or anything and you've got about 10-15 minutes to make something, then I would recommend having eggs in the morning. Great way to start your day, and there's many health benefits to go along with them. And I'll be having that with olive sourdough bread. Why I pick olive sourdough? One, because it's nice, which also helps. You don't want to be eating something you don't like. And it has olives in it as well, so you're getting the healthy fats and also the healthy fats from the eggs as well. So it's a great combination to start your day off right and smash the day basically. So there's a few ways you can poach your eggs. You can either do it in the microwave, or I do it the sort of old fashioned way in a saucepan. So I boil the kettle, pour the water in, stir, just so it's got a little, well, I like to see like a little tornado in the middle. Um, and then I put the egg in so it stays together. That's the whole point of swirling the water. Otherwise, if you just pop the egg in, it can break up. So I pop 4 in there, and then I turn the gas on. As you do that, pop the bread down in the toaster, and by the time that happens and it pops back up, and I've buttered the sourdough bread, that's usually time to stop the poached eggs. And the toast is in the toaster for about, I think it's about 2.5, 3 minutes. So it sounds about right with the poached eggs. So as you'll see at the end of the clip, they're pretty much perfect anyway. So that's just how I gauge it personally. You can time it if you want, but if you're in a bit of a rush in the morning and you don't want to faff about, just do what I do. So the toasted sourdough bread is just about ready now. So I'm just bringing that out the toaster and letting them cool a bit, because I don't like it when I put the butter on straight away, because it makes the bread all soggy, plus putting the poached egg on top. So you don't want soggy toast ideally. So I just leave it to settle for a little bit. Then after I propped up the sourdough onto the breadboard, I just go and check on the eggs. And I guess they look to be just about done, because I'm just about to pour the water out. You don't pour all the water out, just sort of half of it so you can see the eggs. Because if you pour all of it out, then the poached eggs are likely to go with it, and you don't want them ending up in the sink. Believe me, I've done that a few times and I've been absolutely fuming. So now everything's more or less done, just getting everything ready, put the plate out, just checking on the eggs again, and then just getting the salt and pepper out ready, just to add a bit of flavour to the eggs. So it looks like the eggs are just about done. So yeah, about 2.5, 3 minutes. Um, Probably more to the 3 minute sides if you don't like them too runny. So now the toast is cooled down a bit, get the butter on there, because then it won't, as I said earlier, melt in, and it will just sit on top. So the toast is still got a crunch to it, which is what we want. And if you're using butter, like if you're trying to lose weight or gain weight, then obviously just put a light spread of butter on. If you're trying to lose weight, and if you're trying to gain, then use as much as you want. That's just normal butter. You can get low fat ones and things like that. So if you're really keeping track of your calories, then you might want to have a look whilst you're shopping. But yeah, as I said, just using normal. And then so that's the toast done. So that'll be going on the plate. And now for the fun, the most important part is trying to not break the eggs when I'm placing them on the sourdough. Because that's also annoying. But I seem to be doing a pretty good job here. Plenty of times where they come out perfect and I've got all 4 right, and there's other times where I've had an absolute mare and half of them break or whatever. So it's going pretty well so far. So they're looking good. So I place all 4 of them on there, and then I use the salt and pepper just for a bit of extra flavour, because I don't really like plain eggs. It's always nice to enhance the flavours, isn't it, where you can. But yeah, that's my breakfast when I don't have to rush to work or try and get up earlier just so I can make it before. Um, Really sets you up for the day, and it's probably one of the healthiest breakfasts you can have. There's also a few others that I'll probably cover in other videos, but as a cooked breakfast goes, this is very hard to beat. Now we're just adding the finishing touches, and then that's your breakfast done, and it'll probably take you less than 10 minutes. So if you want to make a big improvement to your day, then I'd recommend waking up about 15-20 minutes before you usually wake up just to make this. It really sets you up for the day. And look at that. So after you've had your nice breakfast, we move on to what I have at about lunchtime, which is salmon, rice, broccoli, and teriyaki, just to add some flavour to it. So I salt the salmon, stick it in the oven for 20 minutes in a preheated oven. So that goes in the oven whilst I'm doing everything else. If you're at work or you're too busy, then I usually make it the night before, but you can use the packet rice and you just stick in the microwave. It's probably a lot easier. So, but I do it this way. So I put the rice in the saucepan and put boiling water in. It takes about 10 to 12 minutes to cook. Just weighing out my rice because at the moment I'm having 50 grams of rice per meal, so I'm having 2 rice meals a day. But when I'm trying to put on weight or at a sort of maintain phase, I have about 100 grams a meal or 120 on a bulk. But now, as I said, I'm just having 50 because I'm just cutting down a bit for holiday. So it's all about measurements, adjusting where needed, tracking your progress. That's what you need to do. And that's what I'm here to help you guys with as well. So if you need any help personally, then just give me a message and I can help you out with whatever's needed, whether it's fitness related in the gym, home workouts, or even with your diet. So I'm always here. So now the rice is in the saucepan and now cut up the broccoli. So as I said, the salmon takes 20 minutes, the rice takes about 10 to 12. So then I chuck the broccoli in with the rice about halfway through it's cooked. So about 5-6 minutes for the broccoli, just so it's still got a crunch to it, and not too soft. So I weigh that out. I usually have between 50 to 75 grams of broccoli per meal. There's not many calories in broccoli, so you don't really need to know too much of the measurements with your meals in that. Add a bit more if you're still feeling a bit more hungry. If you're feeling a bit more full, add a bit less. So it really depends on how hungry you are. So I chuck that in. Salmon's ready now. So that's out. Look at that. That's beautiful. So now I'll just be slicing it down the middle just to make sure it's cooked through. And so it's not raw still whilst the rice is still cooking. But I found 20 minutes is a sweet spot because if you cook it for any more, then the skin gets stuck to the tray and it can be really hard to get it off. So 20 minutes seems about right, so it's cooked all the way through and you can still get it off the tray. Which I'm still finding a little bit difficult there by the looks of it. But this is all just trial and error just through cooking it so many times. The skin does come off eventually with it. It's just you just got to play around with it a bit. So after this salmon's done putting up a fight with me, I will then show you the placing of the dish. Yeah, it looks like it's been defeated now. So I put the plate down, put the salmon on. Look at that. I usually use half a boneless salmon. Usually I use 180 grams to 200 grams, but I sometimes can't be bothered to count it, so I just chuck half a boneless salmon on, with broccoli and 50 grams of rice. So that's what it should look like. And then I put the teriyaki over it. So I just put that in the microwave for about 45 seconds to a minute. And then that just goes on, adds a bit of flavour to it. And that's the dish done. So now we'll be moving on to my last meal of the day. I usually have this before bed, just because it settles quite well in the stomach and it's not heavy. So it's just cherries in the microwave for 20 seconds because I'm using frozen ones. If you're using fresh ones, then don't do that. And then it's 150 odd grams of coconut Greek yogurt, because that's the nicest one personally to me. So just chuck that on, weigh it out. And also sometimes I get a bit of a sweet tooth before bed, so this just craves it nicely. Otherwise I'll be raiding the fridge for all sorts. So once that's all done, give it a stir and it should look like that. Look at that, absolutely beautiful. And this is probably the nicest meal I'm eating at the moment, and I look forward to it every night.